Welcome to Real Authority. Today I'm talking about Jackass Best and Last, marketed as the final movie in the Jackass franchise, and supposedly the last time we're going to see these guys together and doing some of the most incredible stunts you are probably to see on screen. And there's not really a premise for this one outside of the fact that it's the final Jackass movie. Jackass is a brand that has basically been synonymous with daredevil stunts, with people who don't give a damn about their health and well being. But they are professionals, always urging you to not try this at home with the same exact screen, depending on whether you're watching the show or not. I didn't grow up with Jackass, but when Jackass Forever came out, I kind of got on a bit of the bandwagon and saw all the movies. With the exception of like Bad Grandpa and Bad Grandpa Point .5, yes, I also saw the Point .5s. But I decided to do another binge in preparation for Best and Last, in which I actually did check out the show, and I did enjoy it. By that I mean I only saw the first season because I did feel the movies just had a lot more energy and structure to it that just appealed to me more. By no means is that me saying the show is bad. It's definitely entertaining, but it definitely lives within the confines of the TVMA rating as well as the station it's on, MTV. So with the movies and the R rating, they were definitely a lot more flexible to the point where the movies actually pushed the boundaries of the R rating. Like, you know how much nudity is in these movies? And since Jackass Forever kind of showed that these guys definitely had a lot more to offer, but they knew that it was eventually going to end. Like, they knew that from the time that Jackass 3D came out. I kind of expected a continuation of that trend where the old guys mix in with new blood in order to do some of the most insane and crazy and downright stupid stunts you've seen on screen. And in that, the movie definitely delivers on its promise, but not as much as me personally I would have wanted. By no means is this not a fun movie, as I did have a fun time with it, but I do think there's one glaring issue with it, which I'll get to in a minute. But starting off with the positives, I do feel the stunt work is absolutely exceptional. With the new stunts they do, like probably peaking at the first one, but that's because it's just so whoa. It was just a laugh riot for most of the movie, but I do feel like they started off strong, but all the new stunts they did, they were reasonably fun. Shout out to Steve-O though, because he still commits his all into some of the most stupid and just downright insane stunts you are ever likely to see.
Oh, why do I have to be Steve-O?
He's just the MVP of this movie, and he's always been like a standout, but here it's really up to him to really carry the legacy cast. By no means does that discount any of the other ones, but I do feel like Steve-O stands out the most, and maybe in terms of the new cast too. Not to discount any of them, but I do feel like he was the one who made the new stunts work. Jeff Tremaine has been with this franchise since the beginning, and he's directed all the movies, I think the Point Fives included, so it's natural and honestly refreshing to see him return to basically what he started. And it just leaves it consistent with the other movies, even though there is one glaring issue, which I'll get to in a minute. I don't know, it's really hard to talk about the Jackass movies in a critical sense because it's just as simple as you get some insane stunts in a documentary style format and you're supposed to have a good time. Like, it's not a great piece of fiction because this is technically nonfiction, so it's really hard to, like, dissect it in a great way, despite me having a glaring issue with it. I'll get to it in a minute. So I guess if you've seen the other Jackass movies and maybe the TV show, you know what to expect and you know better than I do whether or not you're going to vibe with it. And for me, I was expecting to vibe with it, and for a lot of it, it was definitely a laugh riot. Like, the new stuff they included, I was absolutely dying, and the rest of my theater was too. But unfortunately, this movie does run into a bit of an issue in which, yeah, I've been saying like one major issue throughout this entire review, and that's something that I feel the other Jackass movies just strayed away from. And I do feel for a legacy franchise like this, and others have fallen victim to it, which is flashbacks or calling back directly to previous installments. And that's where I feel this movie runs into a brick wall. They actually directly include stunts from the other movies and the TV shows. Now, don't get me wrong, they include some unreleased, unseen footage, which is definitely organic, especially with a franchise like this, in which they've been going on for so long that they definitely have a lot of archival footage that they didn't show ever, whether it's in the Point Fives or the TV show. Maybe one or two stunts I missed because I didn't see season 2 or season 3 or rewatched all the Point Fives. I only rewatched 2.5. I don't know, it was just hard watching all these movies, mainly because they can make you sick. You'll have fun, but you may get sick if you decide to eat. But I do feel, despite me chuckling at a lot of the repeats, they're not like duplicate stunts. Like, that would have actually made sense because they've done, like, poop cocktails before. That's not to say they do it in here, but they directly grab that as well as other famous stunts in here without any rhyme or reason, despite indicating that the crew would reveal their favorites. But it feels like they're kind of interspliced here in between the new stuff with kind of no rhyme or reason. Like, I really do appreciate the format of them going from stunt to stunt and in between having like a mini stunt, like a stupid, like quick moment where you can absolutely chuckle and smile at. It has definitely become tradition of Jackass, but I really do feel this movie kind of opts for the throwbacks in those in between segments and just in general, which really does leave me conflicted because I did binge the Jackass movies beforehand and I heard a lot of people laughing in my theater, so I have to think that maybe not everybody did what I did. And that does take away from the experience because despite some of these reruns just having me giggling a lot of the times, I really wanted more of the organic original stunts that they did, as in the new ones, because I do feel like each Jackass movie has a lot to offer and they really do not like throw back or like take from old installments. They've never done that. Like, even when they indicated that it was going to be a final installment, Jackass Forever was completely new material, and Jackass 3D only ended with like then and now comparisons of the entire cast and crew. And it just leaves me thinking why they would decide to do that. Like, it does feel like the Jackass crew, older but none the wiser, are kind of understanding that mortality is going to come for them the more they do this, which should logically make it so that the new blood basically does all the stunts. But they really do divide this movie with the new stunts and try to balance it out with like the callbacks, throwbacks, and again, some of them I haven't seen before, and I was decently entertained. But a lot of them I already seen, and I bet a lot of you have too, especially if you've been binging the franchise, or maybe even they're so famous that you already remember it. Which just leaves me annoyed because it feels like if you want the most enjoyment out of this movie, you really gotta not go back to the other Jackass movies. And honestly, that's kind of a shame because there are a lot of gems in those movies that are not exactly featured in this best of compilation. And it's sad that it kind of feels that way because it borders on cash grab and less on, well, the Jackass flavor that they usually have. I get it, they're older, so they can't exactly do the stunts that they used to do, but Johnny Knoxville almost died in Forever. Like, he almost died, right? Like, it's not me asking for Knoxville to go out of his way to make the most insane stunt. I was just asking for a lot more originality and a lot more stunts that give the rest of the crew the opportunity to risk their lives. I don't know, it's just something that I've kind of been grappling with ever since I saw it last night because honestly, that's the only thing that's really holding this movie back, but it's an issue that's present most of it. And I guess I might as well wrap it up. I know I've been focusing on that one major issue because it really does hold back Jackass Best and Last from the heights of the other movies. This is by far my least favorite of the Jackass movies, and I would kind of be upset if a lot of the new footage is stranded in point .5 territory. I really do not want a Jackass 5.5 because that would immediately make this movie worse. But sitting in a theater with a lot of Jackass fans and a lot of people really wanting to see the dangerous stunts that they will do, and some of the callbacks, again, did make me giggle. Like, it's still a fun movie. It definitely had me laughing a lot, but I do feel the times where it decided to call back kind of hampers the fun to the point where it's kind of, I won't say tedious, but at the end, you're kind of like, wait, that was it. I don't know. It felt less like a finale and more like another Jackass movie, and it's sad that this is the last one they decide to go off on. However, the Jackass crew have a way about them that just leaves you entertained, so I cannot deny that. So I'll still say I liked it, but I just prefer what the other Jackass movies provided. But if you want one last good chuckle with the Jackass crew you know and love, by no means should you ignore this. So I'll give it the edge and say the real authority approves. 7 out of 10. Just try to avoid watching the other Jackass media in order to get the most enjoyment out of this. You'll thank me later. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications, and comment your thoughts on the movie, and let me know what your favorite Jackass stunt was. Mine's probably Big Red Rocket, because that's the one that kind of stuck to my head the most even before this binge. But let me know what your most memorable and favorite Jackass stunt has been. Is it one from this movie or one from the TV show? Let me know. Alright, peace.